Okay, now there's a lot we could talk about with Starfield, a lot of information that came out this week, but let's face it, what everyone really wants to talk about is how to romance your NPCs. And yes, I am not making this up. As Games Radar has an article from Joel Franny, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and Leon Hurley going deep in there. But hey, I think it's cool. I'm going to leave the links, of course, to the articles that we talk about in this video, which I highly recommend you guys check out in the description below. I mean, let's face it, Miranda drove a lot of Mass Effect 2 sales, am I right? Uh-huh. And picking your partner in Bethesda titles has always been kind of like a nice sidebar activity to do because you're building up your crew of people around you. And I think the mods alone for Skyrim and Fallout 4 in this area, or even just in the visuals in this area alone, which I'm not going to go into or talk about in this video, kind of back up what I'm saying. But that's why I'm concerned when I see PC Gamer running an article entitled, "No, Bethesda, I do not want to kiss any of Starfield's glassy-eyed companions." The author here, Robin Valentine, has some seriously strong opinions on this subject here. I love the opening line here to this article. Bethesda can make an entire galaxy of planets, but it can't make an NPC who doesn't look like a ventriloquist dummy being held at gunpoint. I hope I don't look that way, guys. And frankly, I think it's a little bit harsh. I mean, yes, she's a little glassy-eyed here, but I mean, we're only seeing like, little snippets and, commercial pieces coming out from the game. We haven't seen everything yet. But this article, which is also going to be in the description down below, really cuts deep. This paragraph in the article really stuck out to me. The example love scene is brief, but instantly unbearable. I don't know that I've ever really loved anyone, except you, says Sam Coe, a space cowboy known primarily for his piloting skills and Rife certification, while the player character stares blankly into the middle distance. Can you feel the chemistry? No! That's no surprise. Bethesda has always struggled to make companions feel human, and never has it been more out of its depth than when trying to write a convincing romance. Alright, I don't know if that's all fair. I know that the relationships in Skyrim, from my own personal experience, weren't really that deep, but they were fun and I enjoyed it. I didn't really get too deep into it with Fallout 4, but I mean, a lot of these games came out like years ago, so I mean, maybe we should cut them a little bit of some slack. But let's take a look at the scene here that this paragraph references.
As well as unique quest lines. Eventually, some friendships might blossom into romance.
I don't know that I've ever really loved anyone except you.
And
Alright, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't think it's going to win like an award or anything for this scene, but I think it's good enough. I mean, I might try that line and see how far I get with it. What we're doing here. I mean, romance is not the biggest thing in the game. However, now I'm wondering, after reading this article, if that's going to be really stressed more. Alright, well, that scene may have seemed a little bit rough, and it's just the only scene we have right now from a demo. We don't know if it's all going to look like that. But anyway, Games Radar has put out an article detailing more about what we do know about the romances, and they've given us a little bit more reason to be optimistic. Some of the points that they point out in the article is that there will be multiple romanceable NPCs across the Starfield single-player campaign. I like that they said single-player. It's giving me hope for multiplayer. Relationships are more complex in terms of whether they like you or they don't like you, and it's going to be possible to upset romantic partners in temporary ways rather than just having permanent changes or breaking the relationship off. So it sounds like to me like they've modeled this more after the Star Wars The Old Republic's romance system with its companions, where you kind of have to develop a relationship and some of your activities or actions may upset or impress or, I guess woo your companion over. So there will be some kind of consequences, but as they say here, some of the effects are temporary, so that also kind of reminds me of Star Wars The Old Republic, because if you mess up those relationships, you have a way to just buy presents and stuff like that and win their favor back. So it looks like you're going to have those abilities here. So it looks like they wanted to add a little bit more depth into the system, but again, with Bethesda, I mean, it's kind of true with what the PC Gamer article was saying, that they don't really necessarily go that deep with Bethesda. But anyway, I recommend that you check out this article, and one thing that they did note as well too, which I thought was worth mentioning as well too, is that the ESRB rating for Starfield confirms relationships will be sexual in nature, mentioning suggestive material in the dialogue after sharing a bed with characters. How you get characters into bed remains to be seen, but nudity is notably absent, suggesting it's going to be a tasteful cutaway kind of deal. There's also no word on if you'll get a buff or for sleeping with your partner, a long-standing tradition for Bethesda games. A tradition I've rather enjoyed. I must say I like the expression on the face of this NPC though. She looks like she's not impressed with whatever the player said. But anyway, there you have it. It may not be as bad as PC Gamer is leading us to believe. It doesn't sound like it's going to be super deep, and even in the Games Radar article where they quote Todd Howard, he even admits it's not going to be a super deep mechanic, but it's gone deeper than they have in the past. So I think that's good enough. Romance has always been kind of like a sidebar activity, but looking at these two, I hope it does work out for them. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the content. If you do, please give us a like and subscribe, and let me know if you like these type of videos and you want to see more about it. This is a ever-developing situation, and I'll try to bring you guys more news on it as it develops. Thanks for watching, 07s, and I'll see you next time.